has on the board.
Yeah, and he actually does get an evolution chamber now, which is really good, because I do think he did realize he did not have the upgrades last game.
Yeah, he's going for roach speed, so he's on 3 bases. He's noticed that there is a third, so I'm expecting probably a large roach timing, probably around the 13-minute mark. He might even try to get to max roach, and then just bust through, maybe take an expansion down, save up the gas and go to the tech switch. He does have 2 more gases to take. He is saturated on 4 so far, so given that he's only saturated on 4 gases, I'm expecting probably with the +1 range coming down, plus roach speed, and spore call is going down. He's going to be a little bit defensive at home, while probably going into heavy roach with a bit of ling. Look at his supply just jack right through the roof.
Yeah, the roach just takes so much supply at this point. Like 2 supply for a relatively cheap unit. You get max so easily on that.
True, yeah, and they are cost efficient, but we do see Void Rays coming out of the Protoss player, and if he does have 4 Phoenix, so he's going to go around and he's going to spot this massive this mass unit of roaches here, and then those Void Rays are going to start coming out much quicker. He's going to start chronoing them every single time. He hasn't got a bad army, but he does have 2 photon overcharges on that mothership core. The Phoenix picking up a lone ling there on the watchtower. Not seeing anything just yet, but now he's going to go in a scout pattern through the base and see everything that's up.
And it does not kill the Overlord for some reason. I'm not even sure why.
Scouting information is probably a bit more important right now. But yeah, he probably could have killed it. Would have been very handy. There we go. He's going to kill that one. Maybe he didn't notice the first one.
Yeah, it might be that. And Mexus is now actually a supply block. But he does have a spore crawler down now, which is good.
You can't overestimate the effectiveness of sniping off overlords. I don't think people do nearly enough. And here we go, massive roach push across the map by our Zerg player. That's a lot of roaches. Jeez, I'm not even going to try to count them. I'm just going to look at the units tab and tell the number, which is 48 roaches. God. Only 8 lings, and 1 Void Ray and 10 Stalkers. This isn't going to be enough.
Yeah,
we're going to see the GG play here.
Yeah, it's gonna, even if it doesn't GG, it's gonna be so much damage.
The amazing force fields
are really good,
down.
but it's not enough units. It's not enough units.
Way too much tech in the background there, not enough units. As you said, 1 Void Ray is going to take the rest of time to take down all of these roaches. There is a Void Ray and the Photon, there is an Immortal, a Void Ray, and a Photon Overcharge going down. Another Void Ray is coming out with another Immortal just about to come out, but it's just not enough. These roaches are going to do quite a bit of damage. They should be targeting firing the Nexus. Maybe this will get cleaned up, actually. A big warp-in of Zealots.
Yeah, and by the way, Lichby actually forgot about the prismatic alignment ability on the Void Rays, so he did not do enough DPS. Well, he did do enough DPS, but could have killed it so much easier.
So that basically did nothing.
Yeah.
That whole attack, that 48 roaches, that was the least effective attack I've ever seen in my entire casting career.
Yeah, it's
that
like
Immortal.
It's like pretty much even at this point. Now Protoss may be a little bit ahead because the Zerg doesn't have nearly enough tech. And he's just gonna try again. If you fail the first time, just try again, I guess.
He's getting a bit shaky. He needs to throw down the pylons to power up those buildings again. Nice big warp-in of Zealots against these roaches, with the Void Rays being a little bit mismicroed, just kind of standing there in the middle of nowhere doing nothing. He could throw down, there it is, the Time Warp or a Photon Overcharge if he had enough energy, but he needs to chase his way. But these Void Rays have 13 and 14 kills apiece, and every single one of those kills is a roach. So those are expensive. Those Void Rays have paid for themselves fairly well. If he had have got these pylons down, powering these buildings up a bit more, he could have counterattacked now, but now he's going to have to sit back and macro up a bit, and while he's doing that, the Zerg player has taken a 4th base, and he's taken his 5th and 6th gaths, and he's not looking too good, given that the Protoss player is on a huge bank.
Yeah, and the Hydralisk then did come down, but not. He's making 4 Overlords when he got 133 out of 176 for some reason. He is making 19 drones, and he is not actually making any hydralisks.
I would really like to see more production facilities coming down from our Protoss player. He could definitely do with another Robo. He does have 2 Stargates now, sorry, I didn't see that one. It's coming down, and there is finally finishing up the Templar Archives in his main base. We do have an attack. He was trying to take a 4th, an aggressive 4th there, but the Roaches are just too much for it, and he's not really willing to move out just yet. Waiting for a couple of more Immortals and a couple of more Void Rays, which are going to make this composition incredibly strong, given that our Zerg player hasn't made a tech switch really at all. He is now getting Hydra speed. He's got 14 Hydras coming down, so he is going to be able to snipe off finally those Void Rays if he gets a good composition, a good position. But we do see a carrier coming down.
Yeah, we do see a carrier and the mothership actually, which we did not see a lot, to be honest. And Lichbu actually now getting his 4th Nexus down.
Yeah, really interesting play with that mothership core. I just don't think that Mixed is going to be expecting this. So it may actually be incredibly effective. You only need a few seconds of uninterrupted, undamaged fire, basically, from a Protoss Death Ball, and you're going to do a hell of a lot of damage. Mixis does have a huge supply lead right now, 30 supply. A lot of that is probably in drones, though. Our Protoss player does have a big tech advantage, having been upgrading the whole time. But here comes this huge Roach Hydra force into
and
this...
he does have a changeling! Oh my god, that is so huge! He does have a changeling in the army, and he does have an overseer with him. So he did see
really
the
nice move there.
mothership, but he's not reacting.
It's very easily sniped off, though. That he's only got the 1 overseer. Maybe he's going to morph in a couple of more. That would be the smart idea. He probably just morphed it in with the intention, with the thought of Dark Templars maybe accompanying this army. The Protoss player does seem to be teching to every path that he possibly can. But now that this ball has the mothership core, it's going to be, and even throwing in a Tempest, it's going to be very safe against what Mixist has, this 4th base here. Throwing down a couple of cannons just to be safe and walling off with gateways.
Yeah, like, the easiest thing he can do is time warp the Hydralisk and kill all of the Hydras down off. And then he has free reign. He doesn't have... Like, the Hydras is the... it's all the anti-air. They're... Yeah.
There is a lot of Hydras, though, and if this mothership core can keep back out of range and maybe snipe off that overseer very quickly, this entire army is going to get decimated by this Protoss force. The ground units have 1-2 armor with +1 shields, and the air units have +1 shields and +1 attack, with +2 coming down and +2 shields, and +1 armor for air. So he's going full Sky Toss, which is something we don't see all that often, but everybody loves to see. Sky Toss is an incredible composition, very, very powerful, but very, very hard to use. And he doesn't want to get caught out of position with these Roach Hydras. He really needs to hang on to them until he can get a massive engagement. But the Overseer is there watching all these units, but the DPS is just ridiculous by all of these units.
This is ridiculous. He didn't even kill off the Overseer. He didn't have to. Oh my god, Lichbu just crushed that. Mixis actually even did a nice spine crawler trick, which is he just built like 10 spine crawlers and then built a lot of units and then cancelled them. And 42 roaches. That is not the correct unit response.
It sure isn't. That could have been at least half as many Hydras. I don't know what he was thinking there. The Spire is coming down for some bizarre reason, but we are going to see the GG very quickly here. Really nice play here by Lichbu, really taking that quick third and powering straight up into Skytoss, and we have the GG.
Yeah, I think that was a very clear transitions there from Lichbu, to be honest. I feel like he did everything he had to do. Yeah, it
just felt like the Zerg player just didn't really have the answers, didn't know what he... maybe didn't scout enough, didn't know where his opponent was going, didn't know what he was playing against. And then that mothership core just kind of probably threw him. He probably thought, I need to get those overseers, maybe I need to snipe it, what do I do, and then just dead.
Yeah,
But that
basically.
DPS on that hill, it just shows the importance of keeping up with upgrades. Especially Protoss versus Zerg, especially Protoss upgrades are so very effective. All Protoss units are so high damage that any advantage they get in upgrades over you is going to be very, very deadly indeed.
Indeed, that is true.
And so that ties the series up 1-1,
yes,
I believe.
Yes, it does. So we will have our third game coming out shortly. We're just gonna figure out what map it is. Alright. So it does look like our next game is gonna be on Aquilon Wastes.
Ooh, excellent. My favorite map.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'm the only person on Earth who ever says that.
Yeah, I got a little surprise there.
Yeah, no, I really like Aquilon Waste. I'm a Warp Prism Harass style Protoss, my main race, and I train as Terran, dropping as Terran, and then I use that style with Protoss, and it's so effective on Aquilon, it's crazy.
Wow. That's really cool. It would be like if Protoss ever got a unit that only takes up one spot in the War Prism.
Drones,
you
man.
That would be so. That buffs the War Prism place.
But then again, you put 2 High Templar in a Warp Prism and it's easily the most effective drop in the world.
Yeah, that is very true.
So effective.
Yeah, or only 1 High Templar if it got 2 storms.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you only need 1, you know, just to... And it's the fear of Warp Prism Harass versus the fear of, you know, the Protoss Death Ball that is so effective, because so many players won't leave their base because they're so afraid of Dark Templars or huge, like, 20-gate Zealot Warpins and stuff. Like, you just leave your Warp Prism at home, like, show them at the back of their base that you've got a Warp Prism, and then just run it home and sit it somewhere they can't see it. And they're just like, where the fuck is the Warp Prism the whole game? Like, freaking out. It's so good.
Yeah. And by the way, this map is actually really hard to spot the gases in the main base until you get either a warp observer, or an overseer. So we could see any gas-heavy shenanigans going down in the first couple of minutes, but
yeah, definitely. One of my favorite games ever was I think it was Luciferon versus someone at WCS Season 1, where he did proxy Thor drops from the like the 5th expansion in the top right-hand corner versus the guy in the top. It was so amazing. One of the reasons I love this map is because you always see really craziness on it. Another one I saw was Liquid Hero did a double proxy gate on the ramp into the main of his opponent, creating a wall so his opponent couldn't get out.
wow.
It was just like, even if the dude held it off, he still had to bust through 2 gateways before he could expand. It was just the best build I've ever seen. I tried it on ladder and got thumped.
Anyways, spawning in the bottom right position of Aquilon Wastes, it is Zeus5's Mixist.
And in the top left-hand corner, spawning in the blue trunks, playing for Zeus5 is Lichpew. taking that last game in a very, very convincing fashion, tying up the series.